You started with the Harvester Company in 1930?
1933, but I started as a serviceman, see here. This one here. See, that's what I used to do, go around servicing the tractors.
Right, yeah.
And that was at Boggerbri many years ago.
Who's the little kid?
Henderson's property at Boggerbri.
Yeah. The little kid from the property?
Yeah, he was there. I used to always have the kids around me in those days.
What sort of tractor was it?
That's an old 1020 McCormick deal. And they used to have the iron wheels on in those days.
Right.
And right like this back. This is a new one I sold at Armandale.
Yeah.
On Burralong Station.
Yeah, another McCormick Deering.
Yeah, 1020 McCormick Deering.
Yeah.
That was the first one I sold on New England when I first started on the sales job.
Yeah.
See, this was when I was on the service work. I was on the service work.
Right.
Used to go around starting the new tractors and repairing the old ones. And this is when I was the salesman. I started this one myself because I would have had to send back all the way from Sydney and I said, well, I'll do it myself.
Right. Tasty.
That is when I started on the sales. I used to have to travel by train.
Yeah.
And I spent all my time on the train.
Yeah.
Instead of getting amongst the farmers. And so I bought that utility myself. I had a bit of money left over from the farming days when I used to grow wheat. And that was very well known in the northwest. He used to call me one-way Peachey. They reckon you'd only ride one way with me, you wouldn't.
They would ride back.
That was the old motorbike. That's all I had when I left home. I can ride away and left the property and the old man and all the machinery and everything behind me. Yeah. And that was my old Indian red motorbike, and that's my oldest son sitting up there when I gave the travelling away and came back down to Moree to go share farming. I'd given it to my brother Reg, and he brought it down here with him. And we went share farming together here on the
old solid bike, that one, wasn't it?
Yeah. And this, before I left home, that was my old tractor that I had back in 1928, and I used to make up my own sets of about. That's close up, but there's arrows out that way and out that way, and I used to keep my country in beautiful order, and that's...
Whereabouts was that? Yeah.
And that's where we go.
Is that the family property, or...?
It was, yes. Yes, it was the original. Oh, we had two properties, one at Tamworth and one there, and we sold the one at Tamworth. We thought we'd sold that one, and the sale fell through, and the old man had sold all his horses and everything, and that's how we come to buy a tractor, and the old man couldn't drive the tractor, so he never ever drove a tractor, the old man, but I used to do all the farming with the old Fords, and then then I bought that one, and I was the king of the district, because that was the biggest tractor. That was the 1530, the biggest tractor in the district at that time. And that's another one of it. It's another one with a header, a K header. I used to drive it off the header. Put all the controls back on the header.
Did you have another operator on the header as well?
No, I used to operate the header, and I used to drive the tractor.
Do it all at once?
Yeah.
But a lot at that time, at that stage, there were sort of often an operator on the header.
Yeah, there was had a bloke on a tractor and a bloke on the header here, but I started that business off myself. I made that up myself. But you could buy them soon afterwards because Fortescue's used to make the power take off, and then they started making them. And that is the first diesel. The first diesel chain-link tractor to come to the district, and that is the first chain-link plough. And there's kids on it.
Whereabouts was that? In this district?
Just over the bridge there. It's been all cut up now. Just on the right-hand side, this is the Grover Yellowman Bridge.
Yeah.
There used to be 300 acres there belonged to a bloke that used to run chick salons and adopt a lot of kids. Bailey, I think his name was. He used to, we had about 127 kids adopted, and they used to feed them on this, health foods and things. No, he had 2 or 3 other places as well for them. But old Stan Mizzen and his wife that lived just round the corner, they used to look after that for him. And all the kids.
Good.
That was a very big high crop I had, and a hailstorm hit it. And that's what was left down on the ground. And that is the first, class PDO headers that came here. And I got 17 bags the acre off that after the hail had chopped it down like that.
You scooped it up low and took it off. Well, that was after you'd finished selling. Was it? That was after you'd finished selling? And
oh yes, that's not many long years ago. That's only a few years ago.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yes, it's over 50 odd years that I was, and that's on the same property. That other one, there was a big crop of safflower.
Yeah.
And that chap Darryl Marr came down from Inverell and stripped that with his class header. That was the first class auto header that came to the district.
Again, that's on your properties?
No, that was on the property that I had share farmed for this Bailey here at Yarraman. Bank sinking plant years ago, that was the Gaston scoop. But this bloke used to get off this scoop and get on that one, see?
What sort of scoop?
The Gaston.
Yeah.
They were only 3/4 yards, but they used to lift up with this lever and carry, and he'd get on this one and fill it, and then he'd get back on this one and fill it, see?
Right.
And then he'd have to tip it by hand.
Good old Hardway.
Yeah, that's many years ago. That's over 50 odd years ago.
Yeah, the old crawler tractors we used to weren't they?
That was a P20, I think it was. No, I think that TD35, that's a TD35, yeah. Planted on Turlings just out here on the Boggabilla Road. Just over that board drain where the what's the name tree is, the palm tree? Yeah. And he had 3 Mackay headers behind, that's an RD7 Caterpillar, the 4-cylinder, and he had 3 engines on the headers, and he used to pull them all with the tractor. And the engines used to drive. That's another one side-on view that gives you a good idea of what. And this one here was a Twin City and a same sort of header with a power takeoff on it.
That one at the header earlier with the tractor, which you had adapted to control the header from the tractor, did that header have its own power source as well?
No, it drove from the tractor.
From the tractor, whereas these ones have got their own power.
Now these have got engines on them, say, because like the crawler tractor didn't have a good power takeoff system on it. They used that for that.
Were those engines adapted to them, or were they?
They were built by Howards, I think, to fit on them.
Right. Yeah.
And that was an early model Chev truck that used to cart our wheat at Gunnedah. That's about 1928, I think. And a chap named Joe Warren used to come up from...
There's another one there.
Come up. That is the first truck. That's a red seal rugby motor. They put them in different trucks and things like the Red Seal, what they used to call them. Anyway, that was Jager's first truck from Gunnedah, and they had a stack of big semis here, the boys. Yeah. And I was down for Gunnedah show a few years back. That was old Morgan Jager's first. That was about 1926.
Jager?
Jager, yeah. From Gunnedah. And this is Apple's fleet of trucks. I sold him this one here that day.
The right hand one.
And went and helped him load that up and take it for a drive and see how he liked it. And he came back and said, "You old bugger, how much is it?"
Well, that must be taken out of the Moree rail, isn't it?
That's at the railway, yeah, see the tank there. And there is our fleet of trucks. That was a Rio and that was a Rio, and that was a Rio, and that was a Chev, I think. Yeah, that was a Maple Leaf Chev.
Middle one's a Maple Leaf Chev.
Yeah.
Right.
And that company was first arrived in Moree. We rented the house down on the corner of Wider and Edward Street, the one they're restoring now. It used to be Kirkby's old home years ago, and I rented it off them. And there was 12 acres around it, and I used to bale a lot of hay and sell it in those days. And that was actually the load of hay that I had Sid Wood's Fox Movie Tone cameraman up on top of it. Put an extra tier on, and he was up there with his movie camera. That was a Dodge truck, army release, like and they called them. Anyway, it was one of the arm built in the army, and I finished up putting dual wheels on it, just to have the big wheels on the back and the front singles. You know. And I used to be the Caltex agent at that time too.
Oh, hence the Caltex symbol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this boring plant that I was remodeled to work with the tractor.
This is back on Kelvin,
that's the top of the steam, yes, that's many years ago. That's back about 1926. That's my auntie there, and my sister was sitting up on here, I think. Yes, she was sitting about here.
Yeah.
And see this wheel here, that's off a harvester.
Yeah.
And I put the belt around that. I bolted that to this big wooden wheel.
Yeah.
And that big wooden wheel used to drive these. See, there's one inside, the wooden panel, and that used to wind up the tools up and down like for that. And this was the steam engine part. That's the boiler there, see?
Yes.
And this was a steam engine part. And I used it for the flywheel to keep the things going.
Yeah.
And that wheel there used to pull the rope up and down. You know, it was to ram that's the drill bits hanging there, so.
Yeah. So the rotation of the bit was also taken off the tractor off that?
And it didn't rotate, it just jumped, it was a jump, it just jumped up and down.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And that just brought backwards and forwards like that, so. And these were great long beams. That was a 10 by 10 or 12 by 12, I think, Oregon plank.
Yes.
Go right up there, about 30 feet high. And these two Oregon planks used to go right up, within about 4 or 5 feet of the top of it. And I used to come down this ladder here and carry one end of them on my shoulder when I'd be...
When you're young and silly or young and strong? I think there's... Well, that's another one of it, is it?
No, then the old man could never get it to work properly. And so they sold it. And I bought this one.
Yeah.
And it had an engine on it. So that's on the truck.
That's on the
that's the old tractor and the old truck I left behind me when I left home.
Yeah.
That was a old model international truck. It was a beauty when she first arrived there. And so it was still a beautiful truck then. Had hardly done any miles, you know.
That tractor is the one that was in that earlier photo?
Yeah, ain't it?
Right.
That's another same model as that truck. So International only used to change the models about every 5 years. And even though that one was a lot later it was still the same model. You can see the front of it.
Yes. Yeah.
And that had about 17 tonne of logs on it. And that used to climb the range to Glen Innes from down at, what's the name, down towards Grafton.
Should have been a slow trip up the mountain.
Yes, and they were the only ones used to be able to come up the mountain without boiling, those internationals. They were as cool as a cucumber, they were beautiful trucks.
There's another one behind that.
At the other side of Duran Bandy when I sold a tractor on Noondu Station to a chap named Dick Riley. And I went out and actually I took the tractor out on a truck and gave him a demonstration with it, and the manager in Noondu Station said to me, how much is it, Roy? And I told him, and he said, drop it off and I'll give you a cheque for it. He said, he'll soon work that out. And the Caterpillar people weren't chasing him too hard because they didn't think he had enough money. So that was the bloody dear sailor made on that one. And coming back I pulled up beside these bucks and took a photo. This old chap used to have that made out of a Model T Ford. And he had all his gear on it, and he used to go around doing bits of plumbing jobs and tinkering and that sort of thing.
Which means you're getting the car to go.
Yeah, that's right. And this is 37 model international trucks when they first came out. And this is just up the street here. Where that...
yes, that is the Guida glass.
Yeah, it's all in one now, see? It's all in one. And Bill Whitten, he had the agency and he built this shop here, and then he went broke and Norm Booth took it on afterwards.
Well, Booth must have been
but
here.
But that's after I left the company when Booth took it on. Yeah.
Good.